When Megami Saikou was very young, her father gave her a hamster as a pet, which quickly became the greatest joy in her life. Caring for the hamster was a cherished part of her daily routine, providing her with a rare sense of warmth and happiness amidst the rigid discipline of her upbringing. However, on her 7th birthday, her father issued a chilling command that would forever alter her world. She had to kill her beloved hamster. He explained that, as a member of the powerful Saikou family, Megami could not afford to show any form of emotional weakness. She needed to be prepared to make any sacrifice, no matter how heart-wrenching, to demonstrate her loyalty to the family and prove that she would always put their interests above her own feelings. The decision was part of a brutal initiation ritual crafted by her father, Ichiro Saikou, who had himself undergone a similar test when he was a child. The purpose of this rite was to toughen the children, instilling in them the cold-blooded traits deemed necessary for leadership within the Saikou family. Megami, though young and intelligent, struggled immensely with this demand. She spent countless hours searching for any possible way to spare the hamster's life, reasoning that it was a member of her family and arguing that killing it would not be a genuine testament to her loyalty. Despite her efforts to avoid the task, Megami eventually realized that the ritual was non-negotiable. She understood that any form of defiance would be considered a failure, and that the only way to pass was to comply. With a heavy heart and a deep sense of dread, Megami took the knife her father had provided and prepared to carry out the act. After carefully considering the most humane way to end her pet's life, she delivered a single, decisive blow, ending the hamster's life quickly. This traumatic event marked a significant turning point in Megami's life. It symbolized the loss of her childhood innocence and the beginning of her transformation into a leader who would prioritize duty over personal emotions. The memory of her beloved hamster and the harsh lesson it embodied became an indelible part of her identity, shaping her into the formidable and emotionally detached figure she is known as today. Megami's story serves as a stark illustration of the sacrifices demanded by her upbringing and the high cost of loyalty and ambition within the Saikou family.
Don't get caught.
Damn. 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 Damn.
You stole my senpai!
I don't care who I have to hurt. I don't care whose blood I have to spill.
If I back it up, is it fat enough? When I throw it back, is it fast enough? If I sweep it up.
You see to my eyes roll back like the old man. Chasing like the funeral. Goddamn.
They want you at work, so girl, go do your job. Mia Khalifa, Mia Khalifa, Mia Khalifa.
Talk to this
Don't
guy.
talk to me. I know you killed someone. I'll make sure everyone knows what you've done.
Damn. That guy said that with some sexiness in his voice. Is chill, confident, elegant, girly, graceful, haughty, lively, slowly, shy, tough. Yeah, I'm so tough. There's one more person that we haven't checked yet. It's this guy. Sakubi Dooby Doo. Wait. Sakubi Dooby Doo? Beruma? Daphne? Fred? I'm a dumbass. It's 7:28 a.m. Miyuji's not writing song lyrics. She's still playing the guitar. My ears are starting to bleed from the noise, but I accepted this task, and I'm not going to stop until I finish my mission. For later when there's like a fat update, you know, like a thick update, like a, damn girl, like that kind of update. Her name is Shiromi Tarayoshi. That sounds like a fuck girl's name to me. Her personality is dangerous. Okay, she's very dangerous. Oh, shit. Okay, so the metal detector just pissed out some pepper spray on me. So let me go a different way and
If I can't have you,
Question number 1. Do you like hurting other people?
something is wrong with me. I've always felt empty, incomplete.
If I back it up, is it fat enough? When I throw it back, is it fast enough? If I speed it up.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? Can't run away from home.
Her to come. Oh my god, there's Senpai. He makes my nipples so hard. And he makes me juicy down under. Look the way he's looking at that phone. Oh my god, that is so hot. Oh, I can't get too close though. I can't get too close. He makes me. Oh.
Back from the store. I made sure to buy all of your favorite. Senpai? Senpai! No. This can't be happening. Senpai! Where are you? Oh, no. Why would you leave me? I thought we were making progress. I thought you were finally starting to. Wait. What? The letter? Dear Ryoba Aishi, we have taken your senpai out for some fresh air. We have no intention of harming him. We will return him to you, but first, you must pass a test. Come to the row of abandoned warehouses outside of town. We will be in warehouse 8079. Bring whatever you want with you, but come alone. You have 1 hour. Signed, Saikou Saikou, CEO and founder of Saikou Corp.
Ayano Aishi is the protagonist of Yandere Simulator. She is also known as Yandere-chan to players of the game and has been given the cute nickname Yan-chan by her classmates. Since early childhood, Ayano has suffered from an incurable condition. This condition leaves her in a sense of being empty, hollow, or incomplete. Due to this condition, Ayano has been unable to experience any positive emotions, such as satisfaction, fulfillment, or even happiness. As she grew older, she learned to pretend to be a normal person in order to avoid drawing negative attention from others, but was never able to feel any degree of empathy towards other human beings. Little did Ayano know, one day, this would all change. On the first day of her second year at Academy, Ayano bumps into a boy named Taro Yamada. In that moment, she gained the ability to experience everything that had been missing from her life. She felt complete. But as soon as they were apart, the feelings of emptiness returned. After just one meeting, Ayano had become hopelessly addicted to Taro's presence and came to rely on him in order to feel alive. Then, Ayano saw something horrible. Something that terrified her and infuriated her at the same time. It was a young woman who clearly had deep feelings for Taro. If Taro entered a relationship with this girl, Ayano might lose him forever. Without a moment's hesitation, Ayano knew exactly what had to be done. This girl, her rival, had to be eliminated as soon as possible, by any means necessary, no matter what's the cost. By the way, if you are new to the Yandere Simulator community, I suggest downloading the game at www.yanderesimulator.com. Ryoba Aishi is the mother of Ayano Aishi, the protagonist of Yandere Simulator. Ryoba is also the protagonist of 1980s mode in the game. Ryoba attended the same school as her daughter in the late 80s. She has lived in the same neighborhood for her entire life. She is a cheerful and friendly woman who seems to get along very well with everyone in her neighborhood, although nobody seems to know very much about her, not even her next door neighbors. She is a very private woman who never talks about herself and never divulges many details about her occupation, but she's always willing to talk for hours about her husband and how much she adores him. Dazuki Aishi is the mother of Ryoba Aishi, and she was born in 1950 to a pair of extremely wealthy parents. Like all of the other members of her bloodline, Dazuki is also afflicted with the Aishi condition. But instead of her doing all of the work herself, she begged her mother for a solution. By this point in time, Dazuki's mother had retired from her highly demanding job and could afford to spend all her time and vast fortune doting on her daughter. She decided that the most efficient way to fulfill Dazuki's needs was to kidnap her senpai. During the 1800s, one of Dazuki's ancestors discovered a torture technique that could break a person mentally. They used this technique on her senpai. With her mind-broken husband at her side, Dazuki's easy life continued as before. She lived as selfishly as possible, relied on her doting mother for all her needs, and never worked a day in her life. In 1971, she gave birth to her first daughter, Ryoba. Dazuki had absolutely no interest in child rearing, and let her mother and husband raise the child. In 1976, she gave birth for her second and last time. Ryoba, who resented her mother for being lazy and selfish and did not want to see her grandmother's overlooked increase, took it upon herself to care for her younger sister. For many years, Dazuki, her mother, her father, her husband, and her two daughters all lived under the same roof. However, once Ryoba found her own senpai and eventually brought him into their home, Dazuki decided that the house had become too overcrowded and that it was time for a change. However, instead of simply kicking Ryoba and her soulmate out of the house, Dazuki decided to relocate to Tokyo. She, along with her parents, husband, and daughter, moved out of Burzura town, leaving Ryoba and her senpai alone together in their old house. Now residing in Tokyo, Dazuki continues to live comfortably and selfishly, with her elderly mother still taking care of all of her needs. Kataba Aishi, known as Dazuki's mother, known as Ryoba's grandmother, known as Ayano's great-great-grandmother, was born in 1930. Kataba grew up in Imperial Japan, where her childhood was shaped by propaganda, extreme nationalism, and devastation of World War II. She was 15 when the war ended, and the post-war years of her life were dominated by poverty, hunger, and I'm not going to read that word, with her government and nation. In 1948, at the age of 18, Kataba became obsessed with a young man at her high school. She desired a relationship with him, but faced competition from 10 other girls who were also pursuing him. After using various methods, including lethal ones, to eliminate those 10 girls, she confessed to the young man she loved, who accepted her feelings. However, her joy would be short-lived. American intelligence agencies assisted Japanese police in investigating the mysterious deaths and disappearance of high school girls in Kataba's neighborhood. Their investigation eventually led them to identify Kataba as the serial killer they had been pursuing. However, before facing trial, she was offered a deal. During their investigation into Kataba's murderers, the CIA had become genuinely impressed with the remarkable talent for committing various types of crimes while leaving almost no traces of her actions. The agency even stated to perceive Kataba as a perfect example of the type of agent they needed for covert operations. The deal was, if she worked with the CIA for missions, there would be no trial. Kataba accepted this deal. Kataba gave birth to Dazuki in 1950, but due to the need of constantly visiting other countries for long periods of time, she was absent for most of her childhood. She was deathly afraid that her daughter would never be able to develop any love for her and attempted to compensate for her long absences by spoiling her daughter rotten at every opportunity she had. By the early 60s, Kataba's age was beginning to catch up to her. She knew that her career was nearing its end. After training her successors and one final mission in 1964, she was allowed to retire. After that last mission, she was granted a full pardon for her crimes in the 40s and was also paid enough money to live comfortably for the rest of her life. She has lived in peace since then, content to spend her days relaxing with her husband and doting on her daughter, no matter how old she becomes. Ezabiki Aishi was born in 1910. Like every other member of her bloodline, she suffered from the aishi condition. Unlike most aishi, however, Ezabiki was not content to say, "Oh well, I guess that's just the way things are," and patiently wait for the day she would meet the person who would fix her. Instead, she dedicated her youth to pursuit of knowledge and sought a complete understanding of the aishi condition, its origin, how it worked, and whether or not it would be possible to find a cure. Ezabiki was obsessed with fully understanding biological inheritance, dominant traits, recessive traits, and the idea of genes, which was a relatively new concept at that point in history. Unfortunately, because the nature of DNA would not be discovered until 1953. She eventually met her quote-unquote senpai at the age of 18 in 1928. She strongly resisted the urge to murder the other women who pursued him, wishing to prove to herself that she was not a slave to her hereditary condition. But, like most of her relatives, she eventually succumbed to desire to spill the blood of anyone standing between herself and her loved one. Ezabiki has lived a remarkably long life. Despite being born in 1910, she is still alive in modern day. At over 110 years of age, she is the oldest living aishi and is recognized as one of the oldest living human beings in the world. Ezabiki has expressed an intense fascination with Ayano, who appears to be an exception to some of the rules of the aishi condition. Ayano appears to suffer from the aishi condition more acutely than any of her living relatives, which defies the belief that the condition lessens with each generation. Ezabiki has examined Ayano thoroughly and described her from being different from any other aishi I have ever studied. Her senpai passed away decades ago. Despite spending most of her life relying on him as medicine to elevate the symptoms of her hereditary disease, she doesn't seem to be negatively impacted by his absence from her life. Younger aishi who are extremely dependent on their senpai are shocked that Ezabiki is able to function emotionally or physically without her senpai's presence. Whenever she is questioned about this, she launches into a long diatribe filled with numbers. Most aishi find it difficult to follow along with her words when she rattles off numbers and percentages like this. Some of them choose to dismiss her words as the babbling of a senile old woman. Others are simply appalled by the way she reduces her deceased husband to a mathematical equation. Nonetheless, all aishis treat her with respect, acknowledging her long years of research into the shared condition.